What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Siteman Softball podcast, episode number 2. I'm your host, David Siteman Garland. Welcome. We're just going to get right at it. We were talking about this. I was talking with a friend today about how it's the off season now, right, for softball until sort of, into the new year, and you start getting going in spring, but a lot of planning happens before that. But then I realized there's really not that much of an off season. There really isn't an off season. There's always something to be done behind the scenes or something working on. I mean, really, there is not an off season, my friends. But I kind of call this part of the off-season shows that we're doing because it's going to be a lot of behind the scenes and things like that, and working on some interviews coming and a lot of cool stuff. But have a rundown of a lot of interesting things here to talk about here today. By the way, the sitemanssoftball.com/podcast link is up. So it is up and live. The audio version of the show is on there. You can see, obviously, on Facebook and on YouTube, you can see the video version of the show. But if you go to sitemanssoftball.com/podcast and you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see all the places the show is now being syndicated to. So Apple Podcasts, Amazon. We got, what else do we have here? Let me just take a look here. That was my horrible memory there. We've got, Stitcher. We've got Google Podcasts is coming. So what happens is with a lot of these little directories is our show gets submitted, then it has to get approved. But as soon as Google does, then we'll add that link there. We're already up on Spotify. So you can check out all those places. You can subscribe and listen or watch the way you want to. All right. So I want to start today's episode on something that is a tough subject, not a fun one to talk about, but I just can't do a show without talking about it. Let's talk about our good friend, Danny Rodriguez. Now, for those of you that don't know Danny, most people in the Midwest here definitely know Danny. If you play tournament ball anywhere in the Midwestern area, you've probably seen or heard of Danny Rodriguez. Great guy. But he is in a real battle with COVID in the hospital. We're talking about ICU. We're talking about ventilators. We're talking about a lot of things. So, whatever you like to do, whether it's a prayer or a shout out or whatever you want to do, please keep Danny in your thoughts and prayers. I know that he is doing better as of our last update. Okay. So, Brianna, his fiance, is doing updates, so we like to kind of keep a track of that, and so that he is doing better, but I know it's a scary situation. I want to share with you a quick Danny story. So, and I'm sure he doesn't even remember this, but it was pretty funny. So the first time I ever played against or even saw Danny was about 2 years ago. 2 years ago plus. We were playing in a dome tournament in January in the middle of Iowa. So we kind of had a throw together team. We're pretty good. And Danny was on Nally's Green Space, which was an unbelievable team. We played each other in the championship. They won, of course. It was a really fun tournament. But there was a couple of funny moments. One is this dome was really interesting. Like, to left, you could hit it off the dome, and to right, it was really deep. It was maybe 320, 330 to right field. So it was kind of a really interesting situation. So first of all, my first time I was batting against Danny, he has a really nasty knuckleball as a pitcher. And so I got up there. I never batted against him, never really seen him. I had no idea what I was doing. So the first pitch was maybe a ball. Second pitch, strike on the mat. It was a mat ball that we were playing there. Strike on a mat. And the third pitch, I swear to God, made me possibly urinate a little bit on myself on this. He threw this knuckleball. It's like a high, scary knuckleball, and it was moving all over the place, which I don't understand how, because we're in a dome. There's no wind. There's nothing in the dome. I don't know if it was like air conditioning blowing. I don't know what the hell was going on. But Danny flips this knuckleball up, and I'm watching it, and I realize where it's coming in and where it's at. I mean, I'm like, okay, I don't think I can swing at it. I might swing and miss. I mean, it was in this really weird outside spot. And so I froze on it, and here it comes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to strike out. I'm going to strike out. It's going to be really bad. And I watch, and it missed by this much. And we're talking about this much from striking out. And I remember I looked up, I was like horrified. And I looked up at Danny, and he looks at me and he says, "You've got big balls." And then he grabbed his, you know what. And I just thought that was really funny. It made me laugh. And also later in that tournament, or in that game, championship game, Danny hit an opposite field home run that if there was no dome there, would still be going possibly to this day 2 years later, because it was, not only did it go way over this like 330-ish fence, it went over the snack bar and into a net and was still going up. I've never seen one, and I remember my jaw dropped on that. I was like, that is unbelievable. So I just want to share, it was just tiny little Danny stories, and I doubt he even remembers the crotch grab and the pointing, but who knows, right? But we wish him well. I hope on the next episode of the podcast I can talk about how he's on the full-blown recovery wagon, all right? So Danny, we're thinking about you, bud. Hope all is going to go the right way. So this week we have something interesting going on. We are playing in the Halloween tournament here at BMAC. It's the 10th annual Halloween tournament over at BMAC on Saturday coming up here. And really the last tournament I'm playing in this year. And we have a mix of guys. I'll talk about it. But what's interesting about this tournament, and Kay does a phenomenal job with it, is it's really for all levels of play, which I think is great. I wish more tournaments were like this, where you can sign up as a very, very recreational team. You could be a high-level tournament team. You could be somewhere in between. You could be a collection of random people, whatever it is. They've got men's on Saturday and then co-ed on Sunday. And what I really like about this tournament, a few things. One, it's ran very, very well. There's some interesting rules in the tournament, too. So one, you start with unless it changes this year, but I doubt it, you start with a 2-1 count. So that's interesting. So you're kind of in a hitter's count right away in the tournament. And also, you can buy home run bands for the whole team, or as many people as you want on your team. And that's unlimited, all-you-can-eat home runs for the day. So that's a lot of fun, especially, as we get into October here and, things start to cool down, dinger season, if you will. So it's a lot of fun to go out there and hit some bombs. But the real kind of key thing to this tournament is that it benefits an amazing cause, right? And it's called Chad's Coalition, which is really, it's all about suicide awareness and prevention, which is something obviously very serious, very important, and always love that proceeds go to that. So it's always great to support that tournament. And I'm going to announce what we're going to do and tell you a little bit about what we got going on team-wise this weekend. So because we got the unlimited bombs and whatever we're going to do, we're going to go for them. So for every home run that we hit in the tournament, we're going to do $5 going directly to Chad's Coalition against suicide awareness and prevention. So want to help out there. It's going to be fun. I hope the boys make it a very, very expensive day, right? And the way the tournament works is you play a few round-robin games, and then you go into a single elimination bracket depending on how you did in the round-robin game. So you either go into the gold, which is the top, the silver, or the bronze. So everybody gets to play a single elimination after the round-robin. So it's fun. You get to play a lot of softball. Great way to kind of round out the year here. So our team is called Man Site because, I'm just that clever. I don't know why I did it, but the reason I put us in as Man Site was because it's a mix of players. Like we have a mix. It's a few Siteman guys, and we've got friends, and we've got even an OG bomber coming out of retirement. I don't even want to say who it is yet, but we've got an OG bomber that's going to be well worth the $0 price of admission to go see hit some bombs on Saturday. I don't want to even say who it is. It's going to be great. I don't want to jinx it or do anything like that. All of a sudden, he disappears or he comes out and pops everything up. But we've got some OG bombers. We've got some other guys as well, a few Siteman guys. We got a really fun team we put together. It's going to be a fun day there at the Halloween tournament. So BMAC, that's coming up here this Saturday. Going to be a fun one. Next up, as I take my dramatic drink of this energy drink that I probably don't need, let's talk about real quickly an update on the pink jerseys. So not this pink shirt, but the pink jerseys. We talked about this in the last podcast. If you follow me on Facebook, either in Siteman Softball Nation or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/David Garland. Talked a lot about these jerseys. We're running this until, let's double check. I want to get the date 100% right because I do not want to say it wrong here on the show, okay? So orders are happening until this upcoming Tuesday, the 26th, okay? So at midnight, we're cutting off orders and everything is going to be placed. So for those that missed it, the idea here is we're doing our pink Siteman jerseys. You can get it long sleeve and a hoodie or a short sleeve jersey. Jersey's $35. Long sleeve jersey is $40. Hoodie is $50. And when you get that, thanks to Dustin Hampton at Legendary Sports Apparel, he's doing them at cost. So we can take every single thing from this, which is $20 per item, and we're going to go directly to breast cancer research at the Siteman Cancer Center. So October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Perfect opportunity to get a really cool jersey and also help a great cause. So thank you to Dustin for that. And we're doing really good. I think we're nearing in 50 or so of these. So that is really cool. Looking forward to make a big donation to Siteman Cancer Center about that. Now, if you want to get one, real simple, send Matt Petrov a message on Facebook. You can also reach out to me and I'll get you in connection with him if you don't have it or you need a phone number or something like that. I don't want to announce his phone number here on the show because Lord knows what would happen, but actually it could be kind of funny. But reach out to Matt. He'll take great care of you and get you all set up, and you could get a number on it. You can not get a number on it. Either way, they look really, really cool. So check those out. We'll get those in Tuesday at midnight, and then it's just a few weeks to get them made, and then boom, they'll be over to you. So kind of a great thing. A lot of people, in the softball community want in, a lot of people not in the softball community that maybe were affected by breast cancer. I know a couple of people that got it that have breast cancer. So, pretty cool way, and hopefully we can do some good with that as well. So make sure to check that out, and you can send Matt a message or reach out on that, okay? Now, this is the part of the show, and then I have a debate coming up here in a second, but this is the part of the show I want to I hate when I have something I want to say. It's frustrating. Maybe it's my entire life, right? I hate when I have something that I want to say, but I can't say it yet. I can't talk about it until November, which is frustrating because I want to. It's in my big mouth, and I want to talk about it now, but I have to wait. Don't like that, okay? A lot of people have been asking about what is going on with the Siteman team next year, and I could tell you this. I can't tell you much yet. I can tell you this because, I want to make sure that everything's done properly behind the scenes before I announce the big news that what we're doing. So that means what I mean behind the scenes is we got to make sure that all our current players know what's going on. We got to make sure future players, we got to make sure everybody knows what's going on and things are taking great shape. So those are all individual conversations. But I can tell you we're doing something very big next year, and I have to leave it at that. It's so frustrating. I want to sit here and tell you and reveal all the beans and not reveal the beans, spill the beans, right? On all this, but I can tell you we're doing something very big. It is going to be a huge year, 2022, for Siteman Softball. I am pumped about it, and I will tell you, I'll just leave it there. We'll talk about that on an upcoming show. Working on some interviews coming up, and then, we'll have some kind of newsy shows, if you will, behind the scenes like this show here as well. So there'll be a lot more coming. Trust me, there'll be a lot more coming very, very soon about that. We'll be announcing all the fun details. Okay? All right. Leave it at that. Now, I want to go out on the way out here. I want to have a little discussion here, and feel free to type below if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, or send a message or whatever you could just think in your mind how you would answer this question, okay? Or just kind of what your input would be on the situation. So last Wednesday night was our league night playoffs at BMAC, Division I, they call it. Very competitive division, and the playoffs are always fun because everyone tries harder in the playoffs, and it's like a one-night tournament, right, which is pretty fun. We were fortunate to win it. Really fun, great night. We played really well, which is always fun. But the second game was a slobber knocker. We played Wrecking Crew in the second game, and it was a slobber knocker. It was 26-25. We ended up winning in 8 innings, so in extra innings. And, the things were, there was chirping, there was laughing, there was great hits, there was great defense. There was a lot of things that happened in the game, but I want to explain a situation that happened. I just want to get your input on it. There's no right or wrong answer, but I'm just curious. So, situation in the game. Let me put this to you. We are tied. It is the 7th inning. Wrecking Crew is up. They have the hammer. They're the home team. Okay? There's 2 outs. The winning run is on third base. There's also a run on first base, but the winning run, the only one that really matters, is in third base. Okay? There are 2 outs, and there are 0 home runs remaining. So in that league, you get 4. They're usually gone pretty quick, but there's no home runs remaining. It's just an out, but it would end the inning, right? That's the situation. Okay? And up stepped Tim. So Tim Nicholson, if you don't know, we call him Little Tim. He is anything but little. He is a big lefty that hits the ball extremely hard. I mean, extremely hard. I haven't seen him out very much this year. Actually, I haven't seen him at league at all, but he's out there hits the ball hard, and he's really, really good hitter. Okay, so here's the situation. First, we decided to pitch to him, which we could debate that on a different show. But we pitched to him, and what ends up happening is Tim hits the ball approximately, give or take, 9,000 miles an hour on a line, and it just carries right out of BMAC. I mean, see ya, gone forever. I mean, on a line, out over the fence, HRO, the rest is history, and we end up winning the game in extra innings, okay? Now, here's the debate in that situation. Someone like Tim, right, comes up, and people are saying, well, that's his best swing. His best swing is that hard swing right there, okay? But my argument to it, and I would just like to hear people's opinion, not that there's a wrong or right answer to this, is that this is a great time to have different swings in your repertoire of where you can go on the field. Meaning the chance of him hitting it hard and out in that situation is very high. It's very high because, I mean, he's just strong, it's cold, it's going to go, right? The chance of him doing that is very, very high. And so my kind of thought on that, if that was a player on my team or the situation, I would want something, down and hard, right? Either hitting a hole or, honestly, we gave the entire backside. Just a little flare over there wins the game, okay? And, the arguments are made both ways. Some people say, well, he should just hit it as hard as he can at the spot that he's the most comfortable with. Other people say, well, you know what? He needed to place that better in that situation because of the situation, right? And I'd like to hear your opinion. And again, there's no right or wrong. That's just my thoughts on it. And, and who's to say that if he doesn't do one of those things, the same result happens. We don't know, right? But I guarantee you, the listener, the viewer here, whoever you are, right, listening, watching this right now, will be in this situation at some point where you are up, you can't hit it as far as humanly possible, but you need to get a hit, and you need to drive in that run from third with 2 outs. And I want to know, what's your plan? What's your strategy in that context? Okay, I'd love to hear about it. So anyway, just my thoughts, just some, we're getting cerebral here on the show here today. Little thoughts, want to hear what you have to say. All right, folks, so wrapping up here, this is episode 2 of the Siteman Softball Podcast. Reminder, sitemansoftball.com/podcast has all the ways you can subscribe. We're going to be doing the show weekly. Pretty soon, I should probably be able to announce a day, so it's the same day every week. But you know what? Let's not get too fancy yet, but we'll have that. We're going to have sponsors, and we'll have some cool stuff on the show that we're working on as well. I know, obviously, Siteman Cancer Center is going to be a part of this show, but we're working on some other sponsors as well that are going to come in and be part of this community. So, again, if you like the show, please share it around. Make sure the softball community knows about it. We're going to have some big names coming on the show soon, which is going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see you next time. And David Siteman Garland here on the Siteman Softball Podcast. See ya.